Hey listeners, in addition to the specialty intro you're no doubt familiar with by now, we have an additional piece of music in this episode. You'll hear it right before the credits, and it comes to us from Megaraptor. I should also mention that when I reached out to see if we could use the song, Megaraptor not only gave me permission, but also put together a remastered version and sent it to me, which was extremely cool. All of Megaraptor's work is great, and you can find it at youtube.com/multipetries. That's youtube.com/multipetris. Thanks. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Extraordinary League, Episode 45, Fire and Shadow. The struggle against Phyrexia continues. While the parasitic plane absorbs world after world across the multiverse, the League learn of a secret plan by Doom, the father of machines, to use the secrets and resources of one particular plane to construct his ultimate weapon. Central to Doom's plan is the use of a time platform to pull people, weapons, and vehicles from across the many eras of this star-filled, war-torn universe, and use them to ensure that his rule remains unchallenged. But that time platform has been discovered. Even now, a cell of the Extraordinary League has been dispatched to the volcanic world of Mustafar. Their target, an ominous citadel, and the time machine within. The Yellow Crawl has just disappeared into the blackness of space when a small freighter blinks into frame, dropping out of hyperspace and proceeding toward a sinister-looking planet. The surface of this world is obsidian-colored, shot through with glowing rivers of lava, many large enough to be seen from space. And yet, the dangers of this alien world pale in comparison to those within the tower that the ship is currently bound for. Thankfully, the ship happens to contain a uniquely dangerous group of members of the Extraordinary League. Playing Dante is Liz Logan.
This is exactly what I expected when I signed up for that lava surfing class.
Playing Brock Samson from the Venture Brothers is Miles Schneiderman.
Where do you want this hot rocket?
Playing Squirrel Girl from Marvel Comics is Megan Bob.
I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to make best friends!
Playing Amethyst from Steven Universe is Claire Mulkerin.
I'm not that much of a thinker, I leave that to my friends. When will I get my chance to beat up Phyrexians? For all this time I've been waiting, soon all my waiting will end. Now it seems I get to beat up some Phyrexians. When can we get this going? When do we start? How many can I lift at once? I'm guessing 9. Do they have vulnerable bits? Where are their parts? Hope we see that bald nerd so that I can punch him in his spine. That's right, we finally get to fight some Phyrexians. Think I might be actually sad when this story ends.
Playing Godzilla is Kit Mulkerin.
Behold my nerd boner, all ye mighty, and despair.
You're playing Godzilla?
Tiny Godzilla.
What?
Have you not been keeping up with that?
No!
Liz! He was shrunken down.
For some of our listeners, and apparently for Liz, Godzilla, several episodes ago, was shrunk down to 6 feet tall, a size at which he has remained since then. That is the version of Godzilla that Kit will be playing today.
I mean, but it's not the size of the Godzilla that matters.
No.
It's the size of Kit's boner.
Yeah.
The 5 of you gather around a table displaying a series of glowing blue holograms above it. In the center of these holograms is a single towering fortress, the structure that contains the time platform somewhere within its depths. According to your intelligence, the fortress is nearly impregnable. It's positioned with a huge lake of lava on one side and a perilous cliff face dropping hundreds of meters down the other side, while its outer walls are impervious to all but the most powerful of ship-mounted cannons. The leaders of the League floated some ideas to you before you left. You could potentially set your ship down on the other side of the lava lake and ride speeder bikes across it. You could set your ship down at the bottom of the cliff and attempt to scale up to the fortress itself. You could try to navigate through the cave systems beneath it to come at it from below, or you may come up with another idea altogether. Whatever you do will have to be done quickly, however, as the fortress is full of guards that will immediately seek to eliminate any threat that rears its head. So, What is the discussion being held right now about your mission?
So wait, one of the options is that we get to ride flying motorcycles? I kind of think I know what I'm voting for.
I mean, you're in this line of work long enough, you get to do that all the time. I say we land at the bottom of the cliff and climb the face of the cliff. I love the way I look with the knife in my teeth as I crawl slowly up to make the kill.
We're gonna land right there on that rock across from the lava lake.
The ship sets down across the lava lake. You all step off of the landing ramp on the underside of your ship and immediately feel like you have stepped into a blazing oven. Your skin feels like it's burning. The air in your lungs is partially scalding. You can even feel the moisture on your eyes beginning to evaporate. And Dante, just as a reminder, you are sporting a silver ring with a red gem carved with the symbol of fire on your finger. You see the lake of lava stretching out before you, a vast pool that glows like a bonfire, dotted with the occasional black spot of still solid rock floating in its slow currents. Gray smoke rises in columns from numerous places on the surface of the lake, and on the far shore, you see the dark, looming shape of the citadel.
All right, you, Amethyst, unload the speeder bikes.
Sure. Amethyst hops on a speeder bike and then revs it, and it just takes off from under her and just flies straight into the lava and explodes.
Oh no.
You're no longer on speeder bike duty. Meathead, unload the speeder bikes.
Are you talking to me? Are you calling me Meathead?
I mean, do you prefer to be called something else?
Samson, Agent Samson.
Okay, Meathead, go get the speeder bikes out of the ship.
Fine, but they better not be crappy ones.
I'm gonna say that Amethyst runs to where the speeder bikes are, and then she shapeshifts into the missing speeder bike she just destroyed and hopes no one noticed.
Godzilla, are you immune to lava?
Godzilla understands that you're talking to him, but kind of looks at you with this mild annoyance. But off to the side, Bob, do you have Tippy Toe with you?
Sure, I have Tippy Toe with me.
I like cartoon logic of animals always being able to talk to each other.
Oh yeah. All right. Tippy Toe, can you let Godzilla know what we're up to, please?
Godzilla does a low rumble back to Tippy Toe, and Squirrel Girl, after Tippy Toe's translation, basically Godzilla says, "Yeah, you're not."
Whoa. I don't want to start any beef, Dante, but Godzilla definitely has some strong words about how very lava-proof he is and how not lava-proof we are and how he's pretty cool is what I'm saying. He's pretty cool.
I mean, I can handle it, but I prefer not to, you know?
Yeah,
All right.
I don't want to get too close, because if my tail hair gets singed, this is going to get real nasty.
Let me show you, Godzilla, how fireproof I really am.
Okay.
You just
All
stand
right.
there. Just watch me. So Dante's gonna walk over to the lava, the lava shore, and I have no idea what's actually gonna happen when I step into the lava, but I'm willing to go through with this stick measuring contest. But before I step into it, I raise my hand with the ring on it, and I'm like, "See, look, I can do this!" And suddenly, all the lava goes up in a cylinder, not touching me, and I'm standing as if there's no lava there.
One catch, Dante, you do have to say the command word for the ring if you want to use it.
What's the command word?
Fire.
See? I'm not gonna be set on fire. Nice. And I'm just like, oh, I know what we're gonna do now. I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, but I think this might work, guys.
All right, so you've just unintentionally commanded a large cylinder of lava to rise up out of the lake. Are you doing something with it, or are you just gonna keep the lava out of the way as you guys ride your bikes across?
I am splitting the lava sea.
Ah, nice. You're Mosesing your way across. I like it.
Yes.
That has to be the gothiest Moses I've ever seen, and I've seen 5 of them.
Behold, Godzilla! Bitch.
Did Tippy translate that? Tippy!
No, I put a little finger up to Tippy's mouth before Tippy finished that one. All right, well, I've got a bike. Yeah, we all got bikes. We have enough bikes?
I am a bike. Does someone want to ride on the Amethyst bike or no?
Godzilla gets on Amethyst bike.
Okay. I mean, I see there's no helmets here, and I do not approve of this, but I understand that there are budget constraints, and I accept this.
Brock gets on the speeder. Oh man, it doesn't even have nitrous!
Hey man, you mind if I hop on the back with you, meathead?
No, you go ahead. Crappy Empire speeders. I don't even know what to tell you on this.
So I will point out, by my math, you guys have still left one fully functional speeder bike behind as Godzilla rides on Amethyst.
You know what? Tippy, can you get that other one? Can you ride that one?
Tippy gives you a quick little salute and scampers over to the last
Oh
speeder
my
bike.
god.
Okay. Okay, Tippy, I know you have a little bit of a lead foot. Let's not go crazy.
So the 5 speeder bikes take off, riding over the surface of the lava lake, with Dante in the front, pointing his ring forward and clearing out a path as you go.
Dante's actually with me, which means I'm in the front, he's in the back.
Sure. As you guys are about halfway across the lake, you suddenly see an intense bubbling happening from nearby as a huge form rises up out of the lake, ahead and slightly to the right of where you guys are. You are only seeing the head and neck of this creature, which is a serpent whose underbelly is a purple so dark that it looks almost black against the glowing backdrop of the lake of lava. The top of the creature is covered in a hard, bumpy shell that's several shades lighter than its underbelly, and its eyes are protected by lenses of yellow crystal. It opens its jaws wide enough to swallow a human whole, and lunges for the 5 of you, looking to do something very much like swallowing one of you whole. So let's roll initiative.
Everyone break! 9.
5.
4. 6.
8.
Dante, you are up first.
I am gonna say I get thrown off the speeder bike right onto the serpent. I get thrown off, but then I'm able to reconfigure my body, and I'm now in like a full-on forward Superman punch, and I just plan on, punching it.
Sure. I will say you can do a fighting check if you want, but you could also roll endurance if you wanted to make this a charge attack instead.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Human demon bullet. Okay.
What does a charge attack do different? That's different.
Dante will deal damage based on his endurance instead of his strength.
That's a red.
Dante, you basically become a human cannonball and ram into the side of this thing's head. It goes reeling back and is stunned by the force of the impact. When your turn is over, do you want to, still be airborne having bounced off of this thing, or do you want to have, grabbed onto its head?
Grabbed onto its head, and is there any way I can control it?
On your next turn, you can make the attempt.
Okay.
This turn, you just slammed into it.
Fun.
Brock Samson, you are up next.
So as it happens, that was also exactly what I was planning on doing.
Okay, when you break on the speeder bike, the two of you just go flying off at the same time.
Yeah, with Brock, it's like a graceful, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
a dive forward. And I will also do the charge attack.
All right, great.
Dan, I also got a red.
Wait, Bob, can you start shipping Dante and Brock now? Because I
I
feel like we're
wait.
really setting it up here.
Way ahead of you.
So you also slam into the side of this thing's head.
And I'm also hanging on, by the way.
All right, perfect. So the two of you are now clinging to the side of this eel. Godzilla, it is your turn.
Godzilla's gonna rev Amethyst.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Godzilla's going to hold his turn, revving Amethyst, and we're gonna combine our attack into some mega charge.
All right, that brings us to Squirrel Girl.
Eel! Dragon dude! I'm not sure. What are you? Do you have a name? Can we work together? I realize that my companions have not made the best impression, but I would like to change that. I am trying to get this thing's attention and see if we can maybe either if it's evil, distract it. If it's amenable to being on our side, maybe give it that old Squirrel Girl charm.
All right, so Squirrel Girl, I'm gonna need you to roll Psyche. You get a bonus for Persuasion.
Yes.
And you get a -6 column shift.
I
Lovely.
figured that my buddies had done some damage on that front. All right, well, I don't know. A miracle could happen. I don't know. You know what, guys? Guys, a miracle didn't happen. You would be shocked to know. So that would be a white. Because of your actions, I had to roll on the poor column. So there you go.
All right, so the giant lava eel doesn't look especially amenable to hashing this out verbally at this very moment, but you're cautiously optimistic about what the future might hold. We are at Amethyst's turn, so I believe it sounds like Amethyst and Godzilla are combining their attack together.
Amethyst does a thing sometimes where she rolls up in a ball, and then there's some kind of pink fire that surrounds her. So I picture that I'm just kind of parked in place for a second, and I'm just revving engines, and some of that same pink fire is shooting out the back, And then I'm just gonna take off and leave a streak of fire in the air, similar to a Back to the Future tire trail. And then just gonna try to slam into this thing full force head first. And the front of the speeder bike, by the way, does have Amethyst's face on it. So
Yeah, of course it does.
This is definitely a charge attack for you, Amethyst.
yeah, and I'm helping propel Godzilla so that he can make one as well.
Yes.
All right, great. So the two of you make a charge attack,
Cool.
please.
I'm gonna use Karma to make sure this happens.
Oh, I can just spend 12 karma and make that a red, so that's what we will
Oh,
do.
dope. Dan, at the
Nice.
very, like, right before Amethyst collides with this thing, Godzilla jumps off at, like, with a forward spiral and, body slams his fucking tail right into it.
Man, you guys, this new Fast and the Furious movie looks wild, and I am into it. How did your endurance roll go, Godzilla?
I'm just gonna leave it at green.
So this thing rose up out of the lava, and within 6 seconds, had 4 extremely hard impacts directly to the side of its head, and it just sort of lets out this low roar as it slips into unconsciousness and begins slipping beneath the lava waves of the lake, with at least 3 of you clinging to its head.
I jump back on my bike.
Amethyst wants to turn into a vehicle large enough to hold everyone. She briefly turns into a hot air balloon before realizing that the hot air balloon might not work in a place that's this hot, and then decides to go for a helicopter.
All right, so Amethyst has turned into a helicopter. Brock Samson has jumped onto his speeder bike. I imagine that Godzilla's getting into the Amethyst copter.
Yeah, he's gonna grab onto that before it disappears.
Okay, and Dante, where are you going? Back on the bike with Brock?
Nah, I'm over him. I'm gonna get on this chopper.
All right, great. So you continue on your bikes/Amethyst copter across the remainder of the lake, spending the rest of your trip unmolested by giant lava eels. You reach the far side. The fortress now looms above you, hundreds of feet of metal, ending in a pair of spires reaching up toward the darkened sky, partially eclipsing a gas giant hanging out in space. This is Doom's secret citadel, wherein lies his greatest weapon of conquest in this universe. So, what do all of you do?
Look for a vent.
Boy, are there vents on the exterior
gotta
of this
be there's gotta be
extremely
vents.
secure? Dante, make an intuition check with a bonus for perception if you have it.
I mean, if there's a port on the Death Star, there's gonna be a vent.
This is a lava plant. They probably got a lot of thermals that they need to exhaust out.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh wait, that's still green.
All right, yeah. Dante, you make a couple of circuits of the bottom of this tower. You are indeed able to find a vent that leads into the interior of this place.
So I stand there and I prop my elbow up on it, and I'm like, so what do you guys think?
Good job.
Looks a little small, but I can make it work.
Yeah, Amethyst is going to transform into herself, but wearing, like, military fatigues, like camo pants and, like, black paint under her eyes. And then she drops down on all fours and starts crawling on the ground over towards the vent.
Dinosaur, what are you gonna do?
Godzilla just, like, snorts and follows Amethyst the way Amethyst is doing the weird thing.
All right, I'm gonna follow after Godzilla because I want to make sure that Tippy's nearby to do translation. All right, please don't claw me in the face.
I close the vent shut behind us. No
All right.
trace of us.
Perfect. The perfect crime.
No, but did you sweep up behind our footprints?
Like 101 Dalmatians.
Oh shit! And I go back and I'm like,
Throwing some dirt over the bikes to really, get them to blend in.
Yeah, I imagine that like Dante's like the perfect crime, and then we just zoom out slightly and the bikes are all right there. All right, is there any conversation happening as you guys are army crawling your way through this series of vents into the interior of the Citadel?
what did you eat last night?
I think your scales are like so shiny.
All right, does everyone remember what we're looking for?
Doom! I think we're looking for Doom.
Precisely, we're looking for the time platform.
There we go.
I should not have been the leader.
Godzilla rumbles, no shit.
No, he's just burping.
Well, tell him to keep his mouth closed. Smells like sulfur and brimstone in here. I could be just the lava, but I don't know.
Smells like fish
It's
farts.
probably Godzilla.
All right, I'm taking over this operation. This is ridiculous. We have to find the time platform and destroy it. Remember, we go through anything that gets in our way. Everybody got it.
Got it.
All right, that's why this team was assembled anyway, so let's just kill everything in front of us.
Right now, you're in front of me, so should I hold off on that?
I mean, obviously hold off on killing me.
Godzilla's
Because
fins
I'm-
began to glow blue and then they dim again.
Hey, helicopter, do you see anything out in front of you?
I see this dude's butt.
Wait, who's in front again?
It's Brock.
This is the best traveling through event montage ever.
I know you've been looking at it since we started this mission. I'm not going to blame you for it, but maybe we can talk about it later, okay?
Brock, buddy, you see anything?
Brock, you have come to another grating.
I see a grating.
This is kind of like the dead end of this vent that you guys are in, or this duct that you guys are in.
All right, we'll punch it out. Just punch it
Yeah,
really hard.
Absolutely.
Wait,
Can do, Chief.
We should look and see what's out there before we punch through it first.
Oh my god.
I mean,
you do you.
I suppose.
I
will take a cursory look through the grating.
Thank you. Just a cursory one's sufficient.
It looks like the lights in whatever room you're about to emerge into are off.
All right, can anyone see in the dark?
Maybe it's a movie theater.
You know what I could really use right now is some night vision goggles. I wonder who has those.
Guys, hold on. Let me get to the front. Hold on.
There's not room.
Oh, God. Oh, why would you do that?
I have something.
How do you have this many elbows?
I have
How
something
does
that can
someone
help
this
us
skinny
see.
take up so much room?
Hold on. I have something that can help us see. Fire.
All right, so a miniature fireball erupts from Dante's ring and blows out the grate. And I'm going to say that Dante, being like partially on top of Godzilla and partially on top of Brock Samson, is enough to like basically cause this chunk of the vent that you guys are in to just like drop off of the ceiling and land on the floor. So, Godzilla, Brock, and Dante are in this ductwork on the floor. Squirrel Girl and Amethyst are still up in the ductwork on the ceiling.
If it matters, I was directly behind Brock and Godzilla was behind me.
Oh, you're right. Actually, so Squirrel Girl's the only one still up in the ductwork. And the rest of you have fallen onto the ground, and you're like trying to get out and look around when all of a sudden the lights come on in this room. You all find yourselves in a hall in the Citadel. It looks like equal parts fortress and cathedral, with like high ceilings and rows of pillars and shadowed corners. Red lights placed at intervals mean that the interior alternates between blood red illumination or inky darkness. And surrounding those of you that fell is a group of 10 stormtroopers in red and black armor with blaster rifles pointed directly at you.
All right, so does everyone agree now that it's time to abandon the stealth approach?
Amethyst shapeshifts into a purple stormtrooper with a gem on its chest.
All right, let's roll initiative.
7.
12.
3.
It's 11.
1.
Squirrel Girl, you are up first.
All right. Are some of these stormtroopers in a clump?
They're all kind of like equidistant from each other, so you could conceivably target like 3 or 4 of them at a time if you had the appropriate attack.
All right. I am just going to cannonball into as many of them as I possibly can.
Yeah, I will say you can target up to 3 of them. Doing so, however, will give you a -3 column shift on your attack.
Yeah, I'll do that. All right. I'll spend a little karma on that. Yellow.
So, Squirrel Girl, you ping-pong back and forth between 3 different stormtroopers, and all 3 of them drop. That brings us to Brock.
Brock will charge one.
Oh, hey, that's green.
And Brock flattens a 4th stormtrooper, very bodily, possibly like knocking him into a pillar. That brings us now to Dante.
Can there be a flagpole near us?
Sure, yeah, there's a flag with the Imperial symbol hanging from it.
So I'm going to grab that.
That's about it.
And I'm going to leg sweep at least 3 of them.
That's a fighting check with a -3 column shift.
This is very bad. This is white.
Dante, you end up spending your entire turn trying to like pull this flagpole off of the wall. You managed to do so, but that is your turn.
Look,
Okay.
there's clearly some very good engineering at work because that vent should not have been able to hold us for as long as it did.
Godzilla, it is your turn.
So Godzilla is still stuck inside this fallen vent. So he's pretty beefed because the 2 open ends of the vent begin to shine with this bright blue light. And with a mighty screonk, he blasts his way out of that vent using his atomic breath.
How many targets are you going for?
Let's say 2 very unfortunate stormtroopers were too close to this vent. That's a yellow.
Yeah, those 2 stormtroopers go flying backwards, glowing slightly and smoking as they land motionless on the ground behind them.
Tippy Toe knows that this screonk was basically Godzilla saying, "This is so stupid!"
There are 4 guardsmen remaining, and they are opening fire. Wowzers! Apparently, Doom only keeps the best stormtroopers for himself. Squirrel Girl, Brock, and Dante. Each of you are getting shot with these blaster rifles for 20 damage each.
They're shooting the guy who's trying to get the flagpole. What's wrong with them?
You can tell he's the
Yeah,
leader.
he's like, hey, that's Imperial property. And that brings us now to Amethyst.
Amethyst is going to pop up behind the stormtroopers and then like just point her fingers because she's like shapeshifted into one and has like shapeshifted a fake gun at the rest of them and goes like pew 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 and then just like is gonna grab two of their heads and slam them together.
Awesome.
That is a green.
Amethyst, you have conked the two stormtroopers' heads together and they both drop. Which brings us now to Squirrel Girl.
All right, we only have, 2 left?
There are 2 left.
Can I just pick them up by the scruff of the neck and just carry them over to Dante so he can, like, get a shot in?
That's very considerate of you, Squirrel
I
Girl.
don't need your pity.
Look! You can't stop me, though, can you?
Give me a strength check with a bonus if you have wrestling.
I got a green.
So sadly, you're trying to grapple them, and a green is not good enough for a grapple. So, like, I'm just picturing Squirrel Girl is sort of, like, skittering over both stormtroopers, being like, no, I need to help my friend!
Look, why can't you just stay still for this?
Brock, it is your turn.
All right, I'm just gonna charge another one.
Oh, Brock, save one for Dante. He tried.
Brock is going into his berserker. I mean, not mechanically going into his berserker mode, but you know, his move.
Lowercase b berserk.
That's right.
That is a yellow.
So, Squirrel Girl, as you're trying to subdue these 2 stormtroopers, Brock suddenly comes charging out of nowhere and hits one of them like a train. So there's 1 left, and it is Dante's turn.
Well, I've grabbed the flagpole and I'm really excited. And I was like, and I lock eyes with the stormtrooper, and the stormtrooper's just kind of like, and I'm just like, yes, I've always wanted to hit a home run. Karma. I run up to the figurative plate and just, boom, hit him out of the park. Oh, yes. That's red. That's red.
That's red.
You hit this stormtrooper. He goes flying in an arc across the room, hits the far wall, and becomes embedded several inches into the wall.
I conduct self-celebration. Yeah! I start running around. Yeah! Home run!
So you guys have taken out the stormtroopers on this level. You know from your intel that the time platform is supposed to be near the top of the tower.
So we gotta find an elevator, an escalator, or stairs, or a fireman's pole that we can climb.
There are a set of turbolift doors nearby in this hallway, or you can look for an alternative route.
Yeah, let's go over to the turbo lift.
Hey, guys, do you want to steal some armor first? I mean, just for aesthetic. All right, fine. We don't have to. I was just going to suggest a group selfie afterwards, but that's fine.
I like not wearing a shirt.
Yep, you sure do, Dante. Let's go to the turbo lift.
I already have the perfect disguise. Someone needs to say, aren't you a little purple for a stormtrooper?
Squirrel Girl, are you taking a set of stormtrooper armor, or are you feeling peer pressured?
Can I take some arm things that are going to make my arms look extra beefy?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I just got this super beefy stormtrooper arms and then just like knee pads.
I'm going to say that Tippy Toe comes back to your shoulder and is inexplicably wearing a squirrel-sized set of stormtrooper armor.
Godzilla, remembering the time he wore that very good trench coat disguise, puts on a stormtrooper breastplate that doesn't fit well at all, and kind of punches out the front of a stormtrooper helmet and just wears the top of it.
Oh man, we're a good-looking group.
By this point, the turbolift doors open. I assume that someone else pushed the button in the meantime. All of you are able to climb inside, the doors close, and you begin speeding up the interior of the Citadel toward the chamber that holds the time platform. After several seconds and what you're assuming are probably a couple dozen floors, the turbolift comes to a very sudden screeching halt, shaking slightly as it does so. The doors remain shut. It looks as though this has been remotely shut off from the outside. What do you do?
Fucking punch it.
Are we on the right floor?
You're guessing you're probably still a couple of floors lower than you need to be, but you're pretty close.
Whoops.
Well,
Open the
Godzilla
hatch.
punched it anyway. Just punch through the elevator doors.
So I'm hearing Godzilla wants to exit through the doors and Dante wants to exit through the hatch in the ceiling, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Godzilla sees it's the wrong floor. It's the break lounge. There's a few stormtroopers in there just drinking coffee, and he just picks the doors up and puts them back where they go.
They saw just enough of the disguise that they're like,
yeah, fortunately those stormtroopers are all unions, so they definitely don't fight rebels on their break.
Yeah, they legally cannot fight any rebels right now during their break
That's
period.
right. They have to clock in first. All right, so all of you scramble out onto the roof of the turbo lift. You see a couple of floors above you are the doors that lead out onto the floor you actually need to get to. But as you're looking up, you also happen to notice several shapes descending from above, and they all land around you with a series of metallic clunks. And looking around, you all realize that these are 5 robots that are the spitting image of Dr. Doom.
Oh no.
Jeez.
Roll initiative.
11.
12.
6.
10.
4.
Barack is up first. There are 5 Doombots around you.
I'm charging. I'm gonna keep doing this until one of them survives long enough for me to then do a close combat attack.
That's a white.
Oh man, your charging has failed you, Brock. The Doombot sort of like jump jets over your charge and lands on the other side.
Oh no. Sorry, guys.
Dante.
My new favorite found power, my ring. I'm gonna hold it up and point it at Doombot and be like, do you know what this is?
It will not be enough to help you avoid destruction.
Welcome to my own personal hell. Fire!
Did Dante flip his emo hair when he said that?
Yeah, you know it. Yellow.
Do you want to hit it anywhere in particular?
Yeah, right in his stupid loud mouth.
You hit this thing with a fireball. Its head catches on fire and partially melts, as does its cloak. It is still up, but it has been blinded by your fire attack.
Awesome.
That brings us to Godzilla.
Godzilla lets out a scree at Tippy, asking, like, why didn't our disguises work?
Tippy just says, I don't know, man. Clothes and humans are weird.
Godzilla nods at that, and then he like lunges to grapple the nearest Doombot. The reason why I want to grapple with one is because one of my favorite Godzilla movies has him doing like a team wrestling battle style situation. So I would love for him to grapple one of these guys and for someone else to just like beat the shit out of the one he's grappling. Okay, so Godzilla's gonna go for the one that dodged Brock. Oh shit! I got 99.
That is a full hold, Godzilla, so, like, you have this guy in a full Nelson or something similar. If you want, you can apply pressure immediately to deal some damage to
Oh,
him.
fuck yeah. Give him a little
Nice.
kaiju squeeze.
Yeah, sparks are beginning to fly out of this thing as you squeeze him with unreasonable strength. All right, so, Dante, the Doombot that you hit with fire raises up its gauntlet toward you, but its aim is, like, slightly off because you blinded it, so let's see how well it does at blasting you. Not so great. It fires
Yay.
off to the side. You are just fine. Godzilla, the one that you are grappling, is going to attempt to throw you off and does not even come close.
Yeah.
But Godzilla, another Doombot comes up behind you and is going to try to, like, sucker punch you.
This is such a wrestling
And it lands a hit for 20 damage on you.
He had a chair.
Amethyst, there is a Doombot coming at you. It sort of like launches itself up into the air, flies in a brief arc, and then is going to try to come down in with like a descending punch. That's going to hit unless you would like to try to dodge.
Yellow.
Nice. So yeah, you jump out of the way.
Cool.
And then Squirrel Girl, the remaining Doombot, raises up its gauntlet blasters and fires at you. And that is a hit, and I need you to make an endurance check, please.
Yellow.
Okay, so you are not instantly knocked out by this blow. Instead, you just take 20 damage, which now brings us to Amethyst.
Suddenly, there's an extra Doombot in the group who pops up behind the others and says, "You fools! When we got here, there were 5 of us, but now there's 6. One of them is trying to impersonate us. Okay, quick. We need to figure out something only the real Doom would know."
His credit card number!
Amethyst Doom is going to wink at Squirrel Girl and say, "Great, yeah, what's his credit card number? I mean, what's my credit card number?"
So this has gone from trying to turn the Doombots against each other into trying to do some identity theft on Dr. Doom.
I don't know what's happening
I'm
now.
trying to generally bamboozle them and buy time.
Okay,
I'm trying to remember the Steven Universe episode where this happens, and I'm coming up short.
all right. I'm gonna have you roll shapeshifting, Amethyst, to see how convincing you are.
It's a grain.
All right, I'm going to say that you have implanted some minor confusion in all 5 of the Doombots. The real Dr. Doom never gives his actual credit card information out to any of his Doombots, and therefore they're all coming up with different numbers. They haven't full-on turned against each other. They're trying to, like, figure something out, but at the moment, they're all going to be taking a penalty to their actions because Amethyst has confused them. Squirrel Girl, it is your turn.
Time to put that computer science degree to work. I would like to find some sort of panel that I can pry open quickly on the back of one of them and then do some minor computer wizardry to turn one off or, if possible, make it an ally.
Sure, you can make this attempt. You will be making it at a penalty unless you would like to target one that is being restrained possibly by a dinosaur at the moment.
Godzilla, can you
That one's mine.
Okay, you could still have it. I just gotta check the VIN number real quick.
That's the Von Doom information number. Is what that is.
That's right.
All right, I got a green.
What would you like to program this Doombot to do?
Oh boy! Can I turn it into like an Ask Jeeves, but for this entire place?
Brilliant.
Sure. The Doombot's eyes flicker as Squirrel Girl tinkers under its back plate, and then she slams it shut. The eyes come back on, although they're kind of like flickering uncertainly, and then the Doombot's head whirls partway around and says, "Greetings, fools. What can this unit do for you?"
You know, you'd probably hold that thought because we probably have to deal with some other things, but if you could be thinking about where your boss might hang out and some things about a time platform, that would be great.
Brock, we are at you. All of the Doombots are still up, although one has been reprogrammed.
I will charge another one.
All right, so there's one in melee with Dante, two in melee with Godzilla, one in melee with Amethyst, and one in melee with Squirrel Girl.
I'll charge the other one in melee with Godzilla. Hold on, can I attempt to grapple it?
Yeah, give me a strength check with a bonus for wrestling.
Yellow.
Yes, you have gotten this thing in a partial hold. Would you like to do some damage to it automatically?
Yeah, I want to do a backbreaker.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shit!
I want to break it over my knee.
All right.
Wow.
All right, Dante.
Is there any room around the turbo lift that goes down the shaft?
Not a lot of room, but yeah, there's a little bit of space.
I would like to 300 kick one down the turbo lift. Yep, that's a yellow.
All right, the one that you lit on fire and blinded last turn, you just do like a step forward kick right to the chest. It hits the space between the wall and the turbo lift and slides down in a shower of sparks, disappearing down into the darkness below. That is one down and 4 to go, and it is Godzilla's turn.
Godzilla's gonna do his cute little jog over to where Brock is and do the people's elbow onto that.
Yeah!
Onto that Doombot that Brock just took out.
You have to do the whole thing, though. You have to do his, like... Okay, so, listeners, look at the people's elbow. He does the whole thing where he stands, like, they're lying down, and he stands over their head, right? And then he, like, takes his elbow pad off and throws it into the crowd. And then he swishes his arms back and forth, and then he runs off the ropes and comes back and drops and like has like a brief seizure and then drops people's elbow.
Okay, so Godzilla doesn't have elbow pads, but he will run and like propel himself off of the cord that is keeping this thing afloat, and then basically do the full rock maneuver. Oh no, he goes through the elevator, but misses the Doombot.
All right.
Oh no, did you get a white?
Yes.
You fall through the open panel that was pried aside so you guys could go up on the turbo lift.
No, I just want him to go to, like, the Doombot rolls, and he literally just goes through the elevator.
That works too. All right, time for some Doombot action. So Brock, the one that you're grappling with, is going to try to escape. It actually reverses the hold. So it, like, flips you over and gets you in a headlock, and it starts applying pressure to you, so you take 20 damage. Amethyst, your dance partner, is going to fire off some gauntlet blasters at you.
Okay.
And that is a hit. You take 20 damage.
Hey, no outside objects in the ring.
And Squirrel Girl, yours is firing gauntlet blasters at you. And that would have hit, but it's still very confused about the whole credit card situation. So that brings us to Amethyst.
All right, if that's how we're gonna play, she's gonna run past the edge of the like elevator and leap off, and then kick off the wall. And as she's returning, pull out her whip and wrap it like a couple stories up on the cable to give her some leverage. And she's gonna swing, and as she's swinging, she's gonna shapeshift into the purple puma. And then
Nice.
hold out her legs and wrap around the Doombot that was attacking her and attempt to try to like Tarzan swing with it until it's over the edge and then just let go with her legs to drop it off.
Oh my god, all this makes me
Wowzers.
so happy.
Oh, I got a red. Wow. Okay.
Nice.
It happens exactly the way you describe, and this thing plummets off the side of the turbo lift and down into the darkness below.
Very cool.
That's another one down, which brings us to Squirrel Girl.
since this is the theme of this particular fight, Squirrel Girl's gonna do a discus clothesline on this thing right to the neck to try and pop its head off, the one that was shooting at her. Man, I don't want to mess up a wrestling move. All right, I'm gonna use a little karma.
You got this, Bob.
Take it to a green.
Yeah, so you basically, use your arm to push this Doombot into the turbolift roof head first. It takes a good chunk of damage, but is still fighting. Which brings us to Brock.
So Brock is going to attempt to counter the grapple. And I will spend karma on this roll. Alright, well, as much as I want to take that to a red, it's not worth that much karma. So I will take it to a yellow.
That is enough. You managed to escape the grapple, although that is your turn. Alright, Dante.
I'll go to Brock's side. Charging. I got a yellow.
You charge into the one that Brock has been fighting and bodily break it into pieces. It goes scattering across the roof of the turbolift and is not a threat any longer.
Woo!
Godzilla, you are now inside the turbolift. What do you do?
Like a horror movie monster, Godzilla's hand bursts out through the top of the lift and grabs the calf of the remaining unaltered Doombot. That's a red.
Godzilla, you rip this thing down and just beat it until it is pieces on the ground of the turbolift.
Can I say I throw it so hard through the floor of the turbolift that it basically goes through the bottom and falls for eternity or whatever?
That's fine by me. There's yet another Doombot at the bottom of this turbolift shaft.
He looks down the hole and does a little screech.
The only Doombot left is the reprogrammed one, which is looking at Squirrel Girl imperiously and yet somehow subserviently.
So, friend?
Doom has no friends.
Okay, temporary ally.
Doom has only two relationships, servants and enemies.
All right. Okay, I'm not going to turn you in as a final project, as I had previously thought that I might. However, where is the you that's made of not computer parts?
There is only one Doom.
Oh, I didn't reprogram the real Dr. Doom, did I?
Squirrel Girl, given that you are one of the very few members of the League who has actually encountered Dr. Doom before, you know that he programs all of his Doombots to think that they are Doom.
Oh, okay. So there's only one you. So is there a guy who goes around pretending to be you, who, bosses you around a lot and you don't like?
Yes, he is not currently in the Citadel at present. All the more pity because the next time he shows his false facade, I shall crush him into the dirt like the bug he is.
All right. He's got a platform that he likes to surf through time on. Do you know where you like to keep that?
Of course. It is kept 3 floors above from here.
Is there anything guarding it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to share with us what that might be? Hey, I bet you know what it is that's guarding it. You're informed.
There is a servant, an animal, and a number of magical wards.
Okay. Do you want to join and take it back from the you that's, always bossing you around?
This is never left Doom's property to begin with, but I shall show you where it is so you can gaze upon the futility of opposing Doom.
Sounds like a good time.
And with that, he flies up a couple of floors up the turbolift shaft. You all reach the turbolift doors, which the Doombot helpfully opens for you, and you step out into a long, wide room lit from below with red light. A window overlooking the desolate Mustafarian landscape takes up most of the wall to your right, and at the far end of the room is a single massive blast door, beyond which you are led to believe is Doom's time platform. The only path to the door from where you guys are is a single narrow catwalk with no railing in the Imperial style, with a large round platform halfway across, and standing on the platform is a humanoid figure dressed in a simple floor-length black robe belted at the waist. A hood covers the top of his head, and his face is obscured behind a black mask, which is featureless except for the dark eyes.
There haven't been many invaders to get this far into the Citadel before. Luke Skywalker was the last, but not even he was able to get past me. You won't be any different.
Who the hell is Luke Skywalker?
With that, he ignites a lightsaber. This one, however, looks very unstable and crackling, and there are even a pair of what look like a lightsaber crosspiece that comes out partway up the handle that also has crackling red energy coming out.
Oh, that looks fun. I gotta get me one of those. Maybe I'll take it off your corpse.
Let's roll initiative.
5.
9.
9.
6.
2.
As you guys are gearing up to fight, Kylo Ren suddenly jumps into the air. As he does so, a very large, monstrous hand suddenly extends from the catwalk below, wraps around it, and pulls a body up along with it. Standing on the catwalk now is a humanoid creature over 15 feet tall, covered in brown reptilian skin, with long arms ending in grasping clawed fingers. Its large head juts forward from its shoulders, with a pair of dark, beady eyes looking at you from above large, fanged jaws. And Kylo Ren lands on the head of the Rancor. Godzilla, you are up first.
Godzilla snarls at the Rancor. Godzilla is gonna make little like stretching motions. He's gonna back up a little bit and then run and jump onto his tail and do that fucking dope tail drop kick thing, defying physics, just flying at this Rancor. Oh Jesus! Well, Godzilla goes flying off the catwalk.
Okay, great. Brock Samson, it's your turn.
This is probably a good time to go berserk.
All right.
So all my physical stats will go up by a column shift, and I will charge. All right, so that is a yellow.
So you managed to succeed where Godzilla failed, and you managed to bodily slam into the Rancor, which actually stumbles back more out of shock than anything, with how incredibly hard you hit. That brings us to Kylo Ren. He is going to reach up with one of his hands, and you see a bunch of pipes get torn off the wall and fly toward Brock Samson. Brock, I don't know if you manage to dodge out of the way instinctively or if you just take these hits and don't care, but either way, his attack is not doing anything to you.
Nice.
Amethyst.
Amethyst is going to run and jump off the side, going down after Godzilla. Amethyst touches her gem and pulls out 2 whips, and then she's going to shoot one up above her and wrap around the catwalk, and as she's falling, she's going to shoot the other one down and try to wrap it around Godzilla's waist.
Okay, I'm going to have you make an agility check for this.
I'll spend some karma. Got a yellow.
Yeah, so you managed to snag Godzilla around the waist, and while at the same time anchoring your other whip around the catwalk. So you have managed to grab Godzilla. You can, fling him back up onto the catwalk along with yourself if you would like, or do something else.
Cool, yeah, let's do that.
So the two of you go sailing back up around the side of the catwalk and land, ready to continue your fight with Kylo Ren and the Rancor. That brings us to Dante.
What's around the room?
There's a bunch of pipes that Kylo Ren just tore off the wall. There's the big window that looks out over Mustafar. There's the catwalk.
What's near the window? Is there lava near the window?
No, because you guys are really high up. I mean, you could use the ring to summon lava from the lake below if you wanted.
Yeah, and come through the window.
Well, first, what do you have to do in order to use the ring, Dante?
Fire! In the
There you go.
That's just a green.
A gout of lava leaps out of the lake below, goes flying up several stories, and then crashes through the window. Are you aiming it at the Rancor or at Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren? Just like his... What is Darth Vader to him again?
His grandfather?
Yeah, just like Grandpa. I have the high ground!
Kylo Ren lets out a frightened cry as he's suddenly hit by lava through the window.
Jeez.
Squirrel Girl, what would you like to do?
I think now is a time for a squirrel attack.
So how does this one work?
It just says squirrel communication control incredible.
Okay.
That's all
right.
it says.
So you need squirrels, is what that means.
Oh, what? There are none on this planet?
Okay. You may spend your turn to see if you can call anything close to a squirrel to you. You will need to get at least a yellow in order to do so.
Oh, but that's worth it. I mean, I'm taking it to a yellow, whatever it is, so just a yellow.
I'm going to say there's another eruption from the lava lake below that sends a bunch of embers flying into the air. The embers circle on a thermal, rising in a spiral, and then start pouring in through the now broken window that Dante shattered. And these embers are tiny fire squirrels.
Ah! Sorry, I'm so excited!
What would you like to direct them to do?
Oh my god! Be in my life forever! I want them to attack the Rancor's feet.
All right. They start burning and gnawing away at the Rancor's feet, who is very upset that his feet are getting attacked by fire squirrels. All right, it is the Rancor's turn. He is none too happy about getting body checked by Brock Samson and is looking to get some revenge via the use of a giant claw.
Bring it on.
Brock Samson, again, you can say you dodge it, you just catch it, or you take the hit and ignore it. One way or another, this thing is not going to deal any damage to you this turn.
I'm pretty sure I took the last hit and this one I dodged out of the way of. That makes more sense to me in the fiction of the whole thing, if you know what I mean.
Perfect. I have no objections to that. That brings us back to Godzilla, who's back on the catwalk.
Godzilla, now back on the platform, gives Amethyst that strange look that is so hard to read because he's got such animal eyes. But then he gives a small nod of approval, turns back to Kylo and the Rancor, and does a little martial arts pose, as though he's waiting for Amethyst to start off the attack.
I got an idea.
All right, so Godzilla is holding for Amethyst, which means it is Brock's turn.
I assume I'm now in close combat with the Rancor.
You sure are.
So seeing as I'm still berserk, I will take out my knife and stab it. That is a green.
All right, yeah, you're leaving some marks in the Rancor for sure. Kylo Ren is very upset about what you're doing to his animal buddy and throws his lightsaber at you. You can attempt to dodge this, however.
I will attempt to dodge it. If I dodge it, will it hit the Rancor?
If you get a yellow result, you can make it hit the Rancor.
Oh shit, I'm adding karma.
All right, great.
A yellow.
So Kylo Ren throws his lightsaber. How is it that you end up having it hit the Rancor instead?
He's gonna throw himself backward, and as he's flying backward, he's gonna time it so that he kicks the lightsaber into the Rancor.
Perfect! The lightsaber hits the Rancor's belly. The Rancor lets out one last groan and then slumps over, completely taken out by his own master's lightsaber.
You missed.
Kylo Ren is furious. He telekinetically pulls his lightsaber back into his hand, grabs it with both hands, and begins walking toward you.
Oh, what are you gonna do now? Throw a tantrum?
I was thinking more of half the Citadel.
I know there's no reason for this, but I'm just imagining Brock's naked and covered in blood.
It is now at Godzilla's turn because it is also Amethyst's turn. What would you guys like to do?
As I've said, Amethyst has this move that she does sometimes where she pulls out her whips, wraps them around herself, and then rolls up like a ball like Sonic the Hedgehog and catches on fire.
Okay.
So I was thinking it'd be interesting if she did that while she was giving Godzilla a piggyback ride, so that his spines would be on the outside of the ball, and he could also just be exhaling fire, so in addition to her purple fire, it would have his atomic blue fire and spikes.
So Godzilla leaps onto Amethyst's back. Amethyst begins to spin, and the two of you begin to feel something interesting happening between you. I'm going to need both of you to roll Psyche. Now here's the trick. You are going to both need to get at least a green, and your totals have to be within 5 of each other. You may spend karma to adjust your rolls in either direction.
Interesting.
Oh.
Okay.
Very cool. I'm going to spend karma. Do you have enough to spend, Kit?
I mean, we'll see. I have 46 karma.
Okay, I start with a 75.
Claire, I rolled a 72.
Oh, that's great.
Scram!
It's meant to be.
So the two of you begin to fuse. What does the end result look like?
Oh, gotta be a
man.
4-armed, I guess not very tall, but definitely taller than Godzilla is currently. Definitely has a tail.
I think it's just gonna have a big head of Godzilla-style spikes that mimics the shape of Amethyst's hair. Yeah, just super big and buff. We can say 4 arms, 2 mouths. Is that too much? Because
No,
I mean, they
of
often
course
get
it's not
double.
too much. Don't be stupid.
Okay, so like a double-decker T-Rex mouth.
Yup. Just a mishmash of dark purple and bright blue accents.
Amazilla or Godzilla Fist? How about just Zillathist?
Zillathist it is.
All right, so Zillathist has arrived on the scene. I'm gonna have both of you roll a charge attack for Zillathist. Whoever rolls the higher will be the result that we take for this attack.
I got a green.
I got a yellow.
Yellow it is. So you guys fly towards an utterly flabbergasted Kylo Ren in a blaze of atomic fire, and I mean, he's gone at this point. He's just no longer anywhere. So Kylo Ren goes blasting off again, covered in atomic fire through the now broken window, leaving you guys basically with a straight shot to this blast door and with your brand new friend Zillathist.
Oh, I take the lightsaber.
All right,
Oh,
yep,
nice.
you grab Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Oh, dude.
All right, run across the catwalk to go to the whatever the door is at the end of it.
Yeah, so the blast door leading to your target suddenly begins to glow as you approach. You see a series of glowing magical runes covering the surface that shine brighter the closer you get to the door. None of you are especially skilled in magic, but it definitely looks like there are numerous mystical security measures in place here. And the Doombot says,
"Behold, the final security system that protects Doom's time platform. Whoever attempts to infiltrate this inner sanctum shall receive vengeance 7 times over."
I think Zilithist is gonna try.
all right.
Does that seem like what we would do?
We are both incredibly impulsive.
So you guys let loose a double blast of atomic breath from your two
Jesus
mouths.
Christ.
As you do so, one of the runes on the door flares into red light. I need Zilithist to roll agility. And again, you guys are rolling together and we're taking the better result.
I got a white.
Yellow.
So a blast of fire suddenly rips out of the red rune on the door and hits Zilithist in the side. You guys take 10 damage, and you are cutting that in half between the two of you. So Amethyst takes 5, Godzilla takes 5.
Awesome.
You continue to pour on the atomic breath, and this time a yellow rune flares to life. I need Zilithist to make another agility check.
I got a white.
Well, you're dragging me down because I got a white too.
This time, a burst of acid erupts from the yellow rune, splashing you both. Zilithist takes 30 damage, so each of you takes 15.
Yeah, the amethyst part of Zilithist is scanning the room a little bit, like starting to think, like, is this a good idea? Should we keep doing this? Is an adult going to intervene and stop me?
No, in fact, I'm going to join you.
So, Brock, you are the next person to throw yourself at this door. This time, an orange rune comes to life. I need you to roll an agility check for me.
Green, Dan.
So, a blast of lightning tears out of the rune and hits you for 40 damage, Brock. There are still 4 runes left on the door.
Squirrel Girl's gonna turn to the Doombot and say, you know, I heard some of the other yous saying that you weren't the real you, and that only the real you would be able to get through this door, and that you are not that person.
Doom can open this door easily. Doom can open this door more easily than anyone in the multiverse.
No, don't believe it. Do not believe it.
The Doombot flies forward indignantly and holds out his hand towards the door and says,
"Open in the name of Dr. Doom."
and at this point, a green rune flares to life on the door and blasts him with corrosive gas. The Doombot dissolves away. But the green rune is gone. So there are 3 runes left on this door.
Oh, we can take this. This is nothing.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
All right, who's going for the next one?
Squirrel Girl steps up and then just knuckle spikes one of the runes.
A blue rune flares into life. I need you to make an agility check, Squirrel Girl.
A green.
A blast of intense cold erupts from the rune. Squirrel Girl, you fling yourself backward and only partially manage to get hit by it. You take 38 damage. There are 2 runes remaining.
I think Zilithist's tail at this point is going to, reach over and hit Dante on the butt and try to, knock him forward in the direction of the door.
I'm fine with that.
So you head forward towards the door. An indigo rune flares to life on it. Dante, I need you to make an endurance check.
Oh. Wait.
Dante is turned to stone.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Please fix.
I don't think we know how right now.
Ask the Doombot.
The Doombot is melted.
Damn it!
We got one last rune, right, Dan?
Correct.
We got this. Right, Zilla?
Yeah.
One more blast of atomic breath?
We'll have to recharge it. But we can just, punch this shit. Oh, you know what? No. We're gonna headbutt it.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys head up to the door and headbutt the final rune, which is the violet rune. I need Zilithist to make a psyche check.
God damn it, and I have a good psyche, too.
I got a green.
Okay, good. You got better than me.
Zilithist seems to flicker in and out of reality for several seconds before clenching their fists and snapping back into solidity. They manage to barely shrug off the effects of the violet rune.
What is this Tomb of Horrors bullshit?
And the blast door opens.
Is Dante just stuck?
Dante is stone.
At this point, Dan, I think it would be fair for us to unfuse from the stress of that.
That works for me. The 2 of you split into your component selves.
That was really cool. Dante, did you see that?
All right, one of you guys grab him. I'm now officially the leader.
Okay. All right. Squirrel Girl picks up Dante and carries him into the room.
All right. So after the grandiosity of the towering spire surrounded by lava and the ominous rooms lit in red and filled with enemies, the final chamber with the time platform is actually quite mundane and straightforward. This is a relatively small room that features a short stairway leading up to a dais about 10 feet by 10 feet, and the rectangular floor of the dais glows with white light. This is Doom's time platform.
All right, let's break it.
Amethyst is going to use Dante as a weapon and smash the platform. I'm just kidding.
It's what he would have wanted.
It's exactly what he would have done. Do
God
it.
damn it.
Finally, the ultimate improvised weapon is Dante himself. Elsewhere in the galaxy, the Father of Machines sits on his throne and watches as, piece by piece, the Doom Star nears completion. His posture suddenly jolts as if shocked, and the eyes behind his mask first go wide with surprise and then narrow with rage. He stands from his throne and extends both hands in front of himself.
Hear me, my praetor. The citadel on Mustafar has been breached by those who would oppose the inevitable. I am sending you there now.
Oh.
You know what must be done.
And glowing circles of magical energy surround his hands as he begins to cast a spell. So all of you guys on Mustafar are now standing over the smoking and broken remains of the time portal. What would you like to do?
Oh boy, we got to get back to the ship and get out
Yeah,
of
we
here.
should do that. All right, everybody, mission accomplished. Well done. Good job. Medals for everyone. Let's get back to the ship and get the hell out of here.
Can we get out through the window?
Yeah, you can jump out the window.
Amethyst uses a sharp piece of metal to carve Doom sucks into the floor.
Amethyst, come on.
So you guys leap out the window, make your way back over to your speeder bikes, and start racing across the lake of lava. You see your ship up ahead, resting where you left it on the volcanic fields of the planet. As you draw near, however, you see it shudder as it begins to rise into the air. You think at first that someone has gotten inside of it and is attempting to steal it, but the engines are clearly still off. Just then, it moves at an incredible lateral speed, as though thrown by an invisible hand, and it impacts the lava field with a tremendous splash, breaking apart as it sinks into the lake of molten rock.
Well, that's not ideal.
And then, you see, standing silhouetted against the orange glow of the lava, a tall, armored figure, cape whipping behind him into the Mustafar winds, seemingly carved out of shadow, slowly lowers his raised hand to his side. He looks away from the sight of your ship sinking down into the lava and fixes his gaze upon you.
You have gone and pushed your luck much too far this time. If anyone would know the perils of crossing the Father of Machines, I would have thought it would have been you, Godzilla.
Godzilla bellows out a loud-ass screonk, which Tippy understands to mean like, I could take him. I'm always better in a rematch.
Amethyst says, I don't think I can pull off spaceship.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? Got no ship to get off this rock. Came here to do one thing and one thing only, and that's kick ass. I say we keep doing it.
Screonk.
You know what, Godzilla? Screw y'all.
So, as your speeder bikes fly towards Darth Vader, he ignites his lightsaber and raises it above his head. Extraordinary League is produced by Dan Mulkerin, with logo design by Claire Mulkerin.
Special thanks to Kevin McLeod at Incompetech.com for our theme song, Motherload, and to TabletopAudio.com for our background music and ambient sound effects.
You can find us on Twitter at SmashFic Podcast and search for the Smash Fiction Podcast on Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube.
Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Smash Fiction is made possible thanks to our supporters on Patreon at patreon.com/smashfictionpodcast. Please consider donating as little as $1 each month. It helps us keep the show going. And we have great rewards and extra content for those who help us out.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
Can I ask Godzilla for consent to ride astride him?
I mean, you can ask him anything.
Do you want to have children in the future?
Okay.
Sitting on radioactive
You know what,
spikes.
Dante?
Yeah.
Why don't you ride astride him? That sounds like a great idea.
Oh, that's...
People are trying to trick Dante into riding Godzilla for the sake of
Please
humanity.
don't spread your genes. Future generations need to know what weapons are.
This is the best form of Dante.
Who wants to throw Dante?